Hi there. A few months ago, I underwent spiritual regeneration and cut all of the bad actions out of my job as Hitman. I was able to beat these 5 levels operating on the side of the angels. I didn't lay a finger on anyone, anything I borrowed I returned, and I eliminated my targets using nothing but their own gross negligence and my high potassium diet. I won a Nobel Peace Prize for my efforts, but more important than that is the praise of the YouTube comment section, and I haven't checked it yet, but I'm sure everyone is very supportive and impressed by my actions. Window ledge, you impersonated that security guard. That is littering. Agent 47 places the skin of the banana down, which is definitely littering. No it's not. I eat the skin of a banana. The skin is the best part of bananas, oranges, and humans. Window ledge, you stole that outfit. Window ledge, you stole from that locker. Guys, it's not stealing, it's borrowing. It's not stealing, it's borrowing. Thank you. At least someone gets it. That's why most blue What? Now, I'll concede, these guys are right, but I think it's really funny that me taking a fuse from a bin is what you focus on and not the deliberate catastrophic electrical fire that I caused not 2 minutes prior. But I'm not complaining. Now, a few people talked about how I, trespassed for a few seconds here, which is obviously not a big deal. Like, it's not even illegal. You guys wouldn't focus on that. I'm approaching my goddamn limit. I'm gonna lose it. I've lost it. You know what? That's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. If you can't handle me at my best, you deserve me at my worst. I'm gonna beat Hitman breaking as many laws as possible. I'm making everyone's life miserable and not just my targets. But to make this a bit of a challenge, there is only one rule. Maintain the best mission rating for each level, aka Silent Assassin. The game considers you a Silent Assassin if you complete the mission while only eliminating your targets, never being spotted doing illegal stuff, not being caught on camera, and without any bodies being found, and believe me, there will be a lot of bodies. Okay, I'm done doing that voice. Technically, Silent Assassin Suit only is the highest rank, but send me a complaint email and I'll get back to you. So, this is basically how far can we push the boundaries of the Silent Assassin status, and how many laws can I break, and how many lives can I ruin. Anyway, let's start. First up is the town of Sapienza, where our mission is to eliminate Silvio Caruso and Francesca DeSantis, plus destroy a virus prototype. Now, all of our objectives are in this here mansion, so naturally I'm going to start by going the other way. Our first port of call is this gelato shop, where there's a bunch of people eating ice cream and enjoying the sun, having a good time, and I'll be honest, that upsets me. I gotta do something about this. And while I think turning the sun off would definitely land me in the evil Hall of Fame, just behind the stingray that killed Steve Irwin, it's not really something I can do, so I'll focus on the ice cream. I'm gonna go round the back and illegally enter the basement, our first broken law. Any laws I break will pop up here, and I'll do a delinquency recap at the end of each level. My plan is to knock out each of the workers at the shop, luring them away from prying eyes and hiding their bodies, so I keep my Silent Assassin status. With no one to do the serving, no one gets any ice cream. This might be the most evil thing I do today. Next, I'm gonna go up a few floors and deal with the security cameras so I can operate more freely. Oh, and by the way, this little icon here tells us whether or not I have qualified for Silent Assassin status. Green means I'm fine, yellow means I've been caught on security and need to destroy the evidence to get it back to green, and red means I've failed. But know that if it is red, there are a few circumstances that can put it back to green. After adding another count of assault to my repertoire, I destroy the security system. I also want to steal this briefcase for later, and I don't know about you guys, but I spy a rather expensive looking chandelier. Since no one saw me do it, I'm good, and oh, window ledge, that's not really silent, is it? Yeah, but I don't think your first thought when seeing a chandelier break is, oh, Hitman's after me, so it's fine. Instead of counting the number of times I break someone's property, I'm gonna keep a running total of the amount of money's worth of damage I've caused. Chandeliers vary in price, but since I'm really humble and nice, I'll put the lower end of the spectrum down whenever I cause damage, which just means I'm gonna have to break more stuff. Now, we'll turn our attention to the actual targets. I'm done being mean to citizens for now. As you can see on our objective list, we have to destroy a world-ending virus, which unfortunately does the Earth a lot of good. There's no way around it, so we're just gonna have to let it lift our conscience. And we should probably address the glowing abs in the room. Now, this is deliberate. The town of Sapienza is a fictional area in Italy, but the real-life Sapienza University is located in Rome, and it is illegal to be bare-chested in Rome. Add it to the list. I've also decided that the best way to deal with the virus is to destroy it early doors, so our 2 targets who helped create it can be all sad that it's gone. To get it, we need a few things, which is why we're off to the morgue, where we—
I got a feeling today is going to be very busy. I just know it. Good for business.
Okay, well, now don't freak out, guys, but this man is dead of a highly infectious disease. But I need his clothes, so... It's one thing to break as many laws as possible, but a truly evil guy will do everything to make your day miserable. We did it with the gelato, but we should really focus on our targets. And I've got a few ideas on how to do that, but we need to get into the mansion first. To get in, we need to pass this frisk, and I could very easily drop all my illegal items, but then I wouldn't be smuggling contraband, so we're gonna have to find another way past it. So, it's time to cause what can only be described as a distraction. Now, you might be wondering why we haven't lost Silent, I repeat, Silent Assassin, and that's because no one saw me do that, and if you snitch, I'll be really upset. Now we're in, all we need to do is steal this key card and make our way to the virus, or as they say in Igbo, nye. I think the most evil way to do this very heroic thing is to make it look like someone else did it, so they get fired, namely these two. We distract them by doing some tampering and poisoning the... Oh, that's really sad. I don't really want to do that. We increase the temperature and the nye gets fried. It's very hard to know how much in damages this causes, but we know it's a lot. A secret project funded by a massive pharmaceutical company that must have been going on for years, and warranted a state-of-the-art field lab can't be cheap. Hitman lore doesn't give us any clues, so we're just gonna have to get a real-life comparison. And since I don't particularly want to get on a watch list, we'll compare to the average price of developing a groundbreaking medicine, which I guess is one way of putting it. We'll call it $900 million, but we'll keep it separate because it'll make my chandelier breaking look lame. And more importantly, we've made our targets properly upset. Speaking of targets, let's turn our attention to Silvio Caruso. The lore tells us he is a troubled genius who suffers from anxiety and guilt, as we can learn from this mission story that he killed his mother and feels a little, well, guilty. The perfect victim for my psychological torture plan. And yes, the briefcase I've been lugging around this whole time is a small part of the plan. To start, we need to vacate the mansion and pay a visit to these flower delivery people. They're delivering flowers to the mansion because the anniversary of Silvio's mother's death, or the anniversary of Silvio killing his mother. You know, as an upstanding citizen myself, distraction, I want to pay my respects as well. So, we'll join Silvio in honouring this very special day. I just hope he's all recovered from the tragic loss of his nye. We speak to the butler and he takes us to the grave. And as Silvio comes over, please remember that this is a very sad and personal moment. We should all be very respectful.
Hello. Please, leave the flowers. Never mind. You ruined the moment. I hope you're proud of yourself.
God. Oh, I actually feel really bad. Also, the briefcase is the only way we could send the flowers off the cliff because, fun fact, the flowers are one of the few items you can't actually throw, so that's why we're actually a genius for this one. We've no doubt ruined Silvio's day, but remember that things can always get worse. I'm now going to make him believe his mother has come back from the dead to haunt him. Probably because he didn't put any flowers on her grave. We do this by secretly tampering with a few items to create a trail of breadcrumbs. First, we turn on her favourite record, then the chairlift, and finally ring the bell in her old room. And the finishing touch is this fan. Now Mr. Caruso is going to come running up to the room and confront the ghost.
It's you! It's really you!
That was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it? Alright, it's time for a property damage break. God, I've still got another target. I don't know if I can do this anymore, man. No, come on. I'm bad, and that's good. I'll never be good, and that's not bad. I'm done. Now, word on the street is that Francesca DeSantis has a crush, and I think romance is the best way to toy with our target and ruin her day. The lucky fellow is this man, Roberto Vargas. He's a golf coach and a hopeless romantic. but I bet I could do a better job than him. I have a plan for a little game I want to play, so I'm going to take Mr. Vargas to the bathroom in Francesca's room and bring my scary cosplay and leave it here. When we knocked out Vargas, he dropped his phone, which I can steal and use to call Francesca so we can meet in her room. Finally, we're going to add 2 liters of emetic rat juice to her drink, which emits an ominous green gas. If Miss DeSantis drinks from this, I won't even feel bad. We're all set, so let's call Francesca. We have a nice little chat, and surely she doesn't just ignore the green mist coming from her drink. No, okay. Oh, and with that, it's time for my game. Here we go.
Hello, Mr. DeSantis. I'd like to play a game. You've just ingested 2 liters of Joker juice, and are no doubt feeling very sick. If you enter the bathroom, you'll see the unconscious body of your lover. Look at him. Don't let him influence your decision. I'm gonna put him in the cupboard now. All you now must choose. Do you throw up, or do you challenge me to a best of 3 in rock, paper, scissors? I warn you that if you try to run, you will literally explode. I'm not even joking. Make your choice. No, don't run. You idiot.
Well, I guess that's it. We leave the mission by stealing this plane, and that is a very silent playthrough of Sapienza. In total, we committed 9 counts of assault, tampering with evidence, grave robbing, breaking and entering, smuggling contraband, ×2, 3 counts of trespassing, I'm just kidding, corporate sabotage resulting in $900 million in damages, 2 counts of first-degree murder, many counts of stealing, including a plane, £250,000 worth of property damage, and 1 accusation of having fine abs. Guilty! We made a great start in Italy, but my lust for evil has not been sated. So, we're off to Marrakesh, which, I'll be honest, is probably one of my least favourite missions in the game, so we're gonna have to make things a little spicier by breaking a whole new set of laws. That's right, it's the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention outlines the rules of conflict to make sure that wars are nice and fair and wholesome. The full list of protocols and rules is like 200 pages long, but basically it just says, don't kill civilians. Which is a problem for us, as our only rule is that we gotta keep Silent Assassin. Doing so means breaking these laws isn't easy. Now, some of you might argue you can't commit any war crimes when there isn't a war, but I say this is close enough. The Hitman law states Marrakesh has very high military and political tensions. There's a bunch of riots with army men and tanks just chilling, and one of our targets is literally a general, so I don't want to hear it. Here's the loadout we're going to be using, full of very humane devices. We've got gun, poison syringe, poison gas emitter, and 3 muffins, which I promise are important. Each of the 4 Geneva Conventions is a fairly broad topic, which then has lots of finer details in the form of articles. The first convention is what we're going to focus on to start, which applies to the treatment of the wounded or sick. So, if we just find some guy, make them wounded/sick, or even better, wounded and sick, then we can start breaking stuff. It's important we do this to an actual combatant, because if we did it to a civilian, we'd be breaking the 4th convention, which, don't worry, we will be doing later, but I at least want to do things in order. So that's why we're making our way to the consulate building, as it contains loads of soldiers and is fairly quiet. That guy standing over there is going to be our volunteer, and we're going to lure him into this nice, secluded area. Now, it's time to perform a trick that all pro hitmen use, and remember, the name of the game is Stealth and Silence.
And it's back on. Over there! Get eyes on him! He's gone! He's gone! Watch out! Command, this is Red Lee. Got me! Lost sight of him. Move to a better position. He's not here. Anyone got a visual on the target?
After literally being shot, he's gonna go back to what he was doing before. Well, surely he's learnt his lesson and he's not gonna fall for the same trick twice. No, here he comes. Here he comes. Now it's time for the poison syringe. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got our wounded and sick combatant. Yay! Now we can get to work on committing some war crimes. You might be wondering why the fuck we've still got Silent Assassin. That's because He didn't see me do it. He has no clue what's going on. And yes, there are limitations to the "he didn't see me do it" excuse, but apparently shooting a man in the arse twice is not one of those limitations. My god, this guy is having a horrible time. Anyway, Article 15 of the first convention. The wounded and sick shall receive adequate care. Yippee! God. I'm also counting Article 12, which states wounded and sick shall not be subject to torture, which our volunteer definitely was. So that's 2 laws broken, and unfortunately we can't really do much more, as the only way to wake him up is for another person to find him, and that will void Silent Assassin. We could try to make someone else wounded and sick, but I don't have the resources or the willpower to do that. So I think that's it for the first convention. I feel so bad for this man. Now, the second convention applies to shipwrecked people, which there aren't any in this map, and I don't think there's any in any of the missions, so there's nothing we can do there. The third convention we'll get back to, so it's on to the fourth, which applies to civilians. Yay! Article 13 is very similar to one we've already done, so I won't waste your time. All my training in Sapienza will definitely help with the next. Article 33 states indiscriminate destruction of property is prohibited, and you know, I feel like I've not really been fair with my law breakages. Like, I've been really mean to these two, but not really anyone else, and that doesn't mean I'm going to start shooting everyone, unfortunately. But it does mean I'm going to be a little more thorough with my property destruction, and it's a good thing that there are 9 remote explosives on this map. I think that's it for the fourth, but lucky for us, the Geneva Convention has DLC in the form of 2 additional protocols that are far more general than the first 4. One of them may or may not involve killing someone, which is why we're on our way to one of our targets, General Reza Zaydan. The article states that you should... Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. That's really bad. Reza Zaydan has a prisoner of war. That's awful. If you're wondering why this is bad, that's because the third convention, which I had to skip, applies entirely to prisoners of war, which can only mean one thing. Reza Zaydan is trying to beat me at my own game. No! He's got access to all 143 articles of Convention 3, and he doesn't even have to be silent or an assassin. God knows how many he's already broken. Oh. Well, I guess there's only one thing I can do. I'm gonna have to unbreak his laws. I'm a genius. Articles 26, 27, and 30 basically state that POWs must receive the food, clothing, and medical care necessary to maintain good health. This man, who we're gonna call, Jones, obviously doesn't have any food, so we're gonna donate our 3 muffins. I told you they were important. And just look at Jones. Look at him. I can tell by his eyes that he's in dire need of a fresh set of clothing, and all we need to do is drag this unconscious body in here, put on their clothes, and now I've donated my clothes into this lovely little bag, which you can change into when ready. Now, medical care isn't really something we can give in this game, so I guess I'll have to concede here. But lucky for us, Jones doesn't seem to be wounded, at least not as much as the guy from earlier. Article 13, POWs must be protected from acts of violence, insults, and public curiosity. Now, obviously, I would never hurt or insult Jones, and neither would you guys, but the guards who keep watch of him do. They threaten to attack him, call him mean things like lousy rat. So if we deal with them, that's another unbroken law. I think the best thing we can do for Jones is to eliminate his captor, Mr. Zaydan, who, thanks to us, is now a few charity donations away from growing wings and a halo. But I have a job to do, so he's gotta go. Jones, my love. I will come back for you. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the Geneva Convention DLC that comes with the Digital Deluxe Edition. There are 2 additional protocols that were added a bit after the convention was created, so we've got more work to do. Article 54 of the first outlaws the destruction of materials deemed indispensable to the survival of civilians, including food. Now, I know we've had quite a few questionable Silent Assassin moments in this video, but I think I need to explain what I'm about to do before I do it, and why the game will consider it silent. This game has 2 types of NPC who roam around. The first type is just your standard NPC, who you can knock out and drag around and who have their own schedule. The second type is an NPC even lower down on the food chain, the phytoplankton of the gaming world. These have only one purpose: to make the environments in the game look busier. And it makes sense. Meticulously crafting a path and schedule for everyone on the map would be impossible. As such, they sort of don't really exist. And if they see something suspicious, like, I don't know, a clown with a pistol, they'll be spooked, but they won't alert guards or run and hide. And the only reason I'm being nearly spotted here is because of this guy who is an actual NPC. So doing suspicious things in front of them doesn't lose Silent Assassin as long as an actual NPC doesn't see us. All this to say, I'm gonna destroy the food now. The remote hermetic gas device is our way into another law, and this is just evil. We're running out of laws to break reliably, so let's just finish our mission.
Kingsley.
So, we did Marrakesh Silent Assassin while breaking 6 Geneva Convention laws. Hold on. 7 Geneva Convention laws, but I have unfinished business. Unfortunately, I have bad news about our prisoner of war friend Jones. I can't find any way to free him from captivity. The only way to get him out of the chair is to knock him out, which is, believe me, the last thing I want to do. And even if I did, the only way to wake him up would be for someone to find his body, voiding Silent Assassin. I then thought that if I were able to knock him out via an accident, then we wouldn't lose it, and while that's true, unfortunately for us, Jones is cursed. As soon as anyone finds his body, the game smites him down and considers him dead, even though he is only unconscious. It's tragic. So it seems I only have 2 options. Leave him be with his food and nice clothes and my well wishes, or knock him out and try to smuggle him out of the school, past about 30 guards, any of whom will cause Jones to instantly die if they see him. I've made up my mind. It's time for Operation Free Jones. Dragging bodies in this game is very slow, and the school has lots of open corridors and windows, all of which we have to be careful of. We have a few options for the route, but there are definitely some no-go areas. School courtyard has these 2 pretty much all the time, and a bunch more guards who peer into it. And the front has all of these guys. I know I could just try to knock out every guard, but the school is pretty limited on places to hide bodies. Plus, smuggling a guy past them unseen is way cooler. Our goal is to drag Jones all the way out of the school and past the guarded entrances. Basically, we want to take him to a civilian area and place him in a box for safekeeping. If you're worried about him being in a box, don't worry. The Hitman law is that all the people we hide in closets and such will be found just after we've exited the mission, meaning our friend will be found and can escape to freedom. This side of the school building has no guards because we knocked them out earlier, so that's where we'll start. We wait for Stairs Boy to turn around, and we're off. At the end of the corridor, we have our first option of getting the prisoner out the school, carefully placing him outside this window. However, I don't think this is our best option because there isn't enough cover from these guards, plus the stairs on this side are broken, so the only way we can get Jones out is by going up these stairs, very risky, or by getting him to the other side of the courtyard, which I think is our best bet. So, it's time to get to the other side of the school. Going through the front is nice and easy as there's lots of cover from the guards outside, but this corridor is a problem. We need to drag Jones into this classroom and gently help him over this window to get him outside. But the corridor is patrolled by a guard, the 2 in the courtyard can see us occasionally, the classroom has a guard, and the outside section also has this weirdo who will peer into the classroom every now and again. Also, there is only 1 place to hide bodies in the near vicinity, so we can only safely knock out 2 of the guards. This means we're going to have to time things right. We'll leave Jones here with a muffin in case he gets peckish, and wait for the guy patrolling the corridor to turn around. We then need to deal with classroom guard, making sure the courtyard duo isn't looking, and that peeping Tom doesn't stare through the window. We hide classroom guard, and now we can deal with the creep. We gotta make sure corridor man is walking the other way, then we dump Tom over the window and hide him. We've cleared the path, but we still need to time our movement of Jones right. Any of the 3 guards can see him. And I must remind you of the stakes, Jones dies if he's seen. By timing it right, we can get Jones out the window and out the school. Freedom is just a hair away. The final part of our plan requires taking Jones out through one of the 3 entrances. Choice is a good thing, but when the options we have aren't great, it's not looking good. Entrance 1 is the closest, and is guarded by 2 guys, and a bunch of NPCs wander around here who will see me. The big problem is that there is only this one box for hiding bodies in the near vicinity. The 2 guards have to be knocked out so we can drag Jones, so that leaves a couple NPCs who will see us either dragging the guards or dragging Jones. Entrance 1 is a no-go. 2 is probably worse. Again, 2 guards are keeping watch. Again, there is only 1 box nearby. And again, there are NPCs who will spot us. 2 is out of the question. Finally, we have entrance 3. It's the furthest away, and we'll have to drag Jones past all the guards in here, many of which can see us. It also has 2 guards, plus a 3rd who patrols along here. It also has NPCs, but a bit more cover. However, what makes it actually possible is that there are 2 boxes nearby, so 4 bodies can be hidden, and that's all I need. But we still have a bit of a dilemma. The 2 guards are an absolute must knock out, and the building with the boxes has 2 civilians that are also pretty imperative to knock out. That leaves patrolling guard and Jones himself, who I think I'd rather hide in a box. That's 6 people, but only 4 spaces. But it's the only option we've got, so let's not waste any more time. Jones is getting sunburned. We take Jones past the army trucks, making sure he can't be seen through the hole in the wall. We've then got to stop here because of this guard, who has nothing better to do than stare at this wall. He's a really cool guy. Once he turns, we move, and if we leave Jones just here behind this box, he can't be seen by patrolling Peter or mundane Mark. Hey man, how's it going? Yeah, Mark's staring at the fucking wall again. For now, we bid Jones farewell and try to clear a path to freedom. We definitely need to remove these 2 from the equation, but first we have to get rid of the shop owner, as any distractions will be investigated by him, and we'd rather the guards do the investigating so we can get them away from their post. Now we can deal with guard 1 and guard 2. To distract them, we'll be doing the old crowbar trick. Now, I think it would be better to hide both the guards in the box upstairs for a few reasons. Number 1, if we hide one downstairs, then Jones would have to be hidden with one of his captors, and he'll be immediately taken back to the school. Number 2, Jones is more likely to be found first if he's downstairs, so he can escape before the guards are found. However, to hide them upstairs, we need to be careful of Fedora Man. We can't knock him out as there isn't enough space, so we'll have to throw a coin over here and very quickly put the guards in the box. We've cleared our path, so we just need to leave Fedora Man, Shop Owner, Guard 1 and Guard 2, walk past Peter to Jones, and pray that Mark isn't staring at the fucking wall again. We need to time this right, so we'll wait for him to stare at the barrels. What is wrong with these people? And now we can bring Jones past. Now we just need to make sure no NPCs down the alleyway can see us, and once we're in the shop, we just have one thing to do. Place him nicely in this box, next to Shop Owner. Jones is a free man. We did it. I wish you well, my love. Oh, man. It's moments like this that I wonder if maybe being outlandishly evil isn't the right thing to do. I found more enjoyment helping Jones than I did bullying Caruso, though I admit it's close. Perhaps instead of being overly nice or overly cruel, I should just be myself. Starting today.
Have some breath mints. Kinda need it, buddy.
Tomorrow.
You do